Well, hello everyone. Again, welcome back to VL. This is VL Division 2, and we are very excited to see you guys again. So today we have the matchup between Prime Nebula and Primordial, week 1. So every team is starting up, they're still figuring things out. Maybe the teammates are working with each other. But we are very happy that we are back from the break and we're bringing you these banger matchups. And today I am Jeff. Today I'm joined by Stealth.
Hello. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see how these teams are starting off here with the first week.
Well, I mean, this one of these teams means something especially for you, right? As I understand, you're one of the coaches actually for
Hmm.
Prime Nebula. So how do you like? Well, just I mean, as casters will remain absolute
Yes.
impartiality, but before the cast begins, I just suppose, how do you like your chances? How do you like your odds
Yeah.
against Primordial?
You're not trying to be as impartial as I can, of course. I think Prime Prime Nebula has pretty good chances going in here. I've of course seen them scrim. They look very solid. We have good teamwork. Maybe there's something with macro we can improve on, but that's you like in general, I think we look pretty good as a team. Now, with that out of the way, of course, I'm putting my hands in there saying they can. Everything is really up to question whether they're going to be able to beat Primordials here. Did look shaky. We did, maybe scrim them some days ago, and there were some things that could have gone better. But all in all, I think it's pretty much up in the air which way it'll go.
Right, and we are jumping into the pick and ban phase right now. So you can see from the side of Prime Nebula, first ban coming out is the Lulu. Enchanter support in this meta is being very, very strong. So getting rid of that. The Caitlyn will be the second ban here. Yeah, I suppose this is one of the coaches sort of making these pick and ban decisions for the team as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, I think it's a very good read here by Primordials to ban Senna. I mean, we've seen how strong Senna Tamkench can be. It's very oppressive, very free scaling, very good frontline. I think it's a very good read to ban that. We also have the Yone pick, of course. Everyone hates that. And then, as the last ban here coming in, we have the Jarvan, which is a very great, excellent team fighter. That Prime is Prime Nebula is known to use.
Right, and the first pick's coming across the board. The Kiana locked in his first pick here for side of Primordial. This is the thing, I was looking at op.gg and is very intrigued because both junglers, Sunderer, or as we call him, Cloud, both the jungler here, Thomas and Sunderer, they are both very prolific Kiana players. I think 17 and 15 games each respectively played in ranked games. Very high win rate as well. I think Sunderer has an astonishing 70% win rate on that champion as a jungler. So you can see neither team deciding to ban that, and the Primordial here snatching that as their first pick. Definitely it's going to be very interesting to see how they perform on that
Yeah.
as the rest of the pick coming out.
Yeah, we do see the Thresh Diana here now coming out from Prime Nebula, which is a very nice combo. Diana can jump in and then you can instantly disengage if you want. I mean, Thresh, all in all, is also a great pick. Just in terms of peeling, very solid, can do everything. And now we see the on here on Primordials, which is the classic top lane pick where you can just blind it. No matter matchup, you can make sure that this on he will farm safely and he'll be able to scale and get the team to the late game while still being useful in terms of giving the upgrades to the team, even if he's faltering behind.
I mean, that certified engaged is always in the bag. You can always call it on horn and just
Yeah.
no matter how maybe falling behind early in the lane, you can always have that guarantee in team fights. Is what we're looking for. Banning away the Israel here coming out. I think this is a very one of the main champions. The AD carry I think is Lozi actually. Lozi played a lot of the Israel and
Yeah.
the Jin. A very safe pick as well. So banning that away, the comfort, targeting the bot lane here.
Yeah, and on Primordial's side, we see two top lane bans. Like, it's very obvious that they're scared of a split push that here coming out from Prime Nebula, with both the Fiora and Camille removed. So I wonder if Prime Nebula is still gonna look for a split pushing here, split pushing champion. Um, there are plenty of options up. We can look for maybe we could be seeing Lilia or Gwen or something that can just shut down the Ornn and give a win con through the top lane. So it's going to be interesting to see that. With that being said, though, they do have double AP mid and jungle, so we're probably not going to see it. It has to be something AD likely. And here we have the two last bans as the answer to Nami, coming out here from Nebula.
Again, maybe paired up. Maybe we are seeing the Nami Lucian lane here. It's not as strong as it used to be, but still. Well, I saw this I think yesterday in my ranked game. It's just absolutely disgusting. So maybe that's the pick. You can see the hover Lucian. Want to pick that away from the Nami. Lucian Thresh. Not well. I mean, not exactly the combo you think of.
We could see a Syndra Nami. It wouldn't be the first time, but it's for sure not going versus Lucian. But yeah, denying away the Nami Lucian combo, a very very good option here.
Yeah, the last pick coming out will beat the top laner here. It's just saving that counter pick, deciding what they want to do here for PGX key. Well, looking, this is looking very spicy. This is the Victor top.
How do you know? I think Yasuo top is very useful against Dawn just from the simple fact that you just completely deny his ultimate usage.
Hey, as the coach said, that should be the pick. If anyone knows Dim's team, they should be our caster Stealth here. And the Jinx will be the last pick, just to round out that hyper carry team comp. Yeah, if you look at the right side, suppose Primordial, very standard back front to back, Ornn tanking on the front side. You have the Syndra looking for the picks and Jinx for these late game super carry potential. And here on the left side, very much about that Wombo combo, Diana Yasuo combo is very easy to execute and can be very devastating.
Yeah, and as we see between the sides, I think here that Primordials, they do have slight more front line, so it's going to be very interesting to see how exactly that Prime is going to be able to get through it. Like as you talked about, we are probably going to see them look for some picks because it's extremely explosive what Prime's comp can do. So it's just going to really depend on whether they can get through the Ornn or find flanks, really.
Right. One thing before we go into the game, and this is just, I mean, totally, this is, I'm being serious right now. This is to prevent us going absolutely unemployed. Just want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, ProComps. As you can see on your, hopefully on your stream right now, analyzes a lot of these team comps, tells you the advantage, it tells you the strength, how should you play against and around your own comp. Drafted here as well. So just a big shout out to the sponsor, just making us grow as a league.
Okay, and yeah, here we are waiting for the delay. So can I ask you, who do you think is gonna come on top of this game, really? Like just speaking comp wise.
Just speaking comp wise, I think again, I mean, this is speaking as a Silver 4 player.
Yeah.
My native elo, you always go for the easy to execute comp. I just love that Diana Yasuo combo. Easy engaged Victor on top can do so much AoE damage. And Lucian Thresh, maybe look for the cleanup, look for the backup damages as well. The Kiana, the Jinx, the Ornn, these things need to have perfect synergy. You have to play this front to back team fight so well coordinated. That is not to say Primordial here cannot pull it off, but just from the team comp, if I am in a ranked solo queue game, I would take the left side every day of the week.
Okay, yeah, this is what I like. I think it's like very even here, but I just love these kind of games because they just call to the nature of Uga Buga, like right here. This is really anyone's game. Both Primordials and Prime Nebula both have combos that can just completely obliterate any member of the team at any given moment if someone missteps. And both, I mean, the one team really wants to just go for flanks, find random picks, and just come on top out of nowhere, while the other wants the opposite. And I think that just makes really interesting gameplay. So I think in general, we're probably going to be able to see Prime Nebula, they might set up vision for flanks for Diana to, flash dash in and get the massive ultimate. While on Primordials, they're gonna try and hold things together. But with that being said, while they do have the better front line, which I think is always very nice to have in a team situation, it's going to be interesting to see how much value you can really see from the Ornn ult or the Kiana ult, because they can always be just one Yasuo win wall away from just being completely useless.
That is true. The win wall and PGX key here on the top side is the man we're having our eyes on. Like you said as well, the left side comp, easy to execute, but there's a lot of margin of errors. One misstep, this team comp is very, let's be honest, is very, very brittle, is very, very vulnerable to a lot of these damages coming out from the right side. So they have to play this team fight. They have to play these engages crisp and clean as they go into the game. And on the right side, you do need to, on the side of Primordial, sorry, as we're going to the game, on the side of Primordial, you do want to play your team, excuse me, you do want to play the game quite slowly. You have a lot of scaling factors. The Nami scales quite well. Ornn obviously can upgrade the item, and Jinx in the late game is going to be so much stronger than this Lucian as well. So you want to take this game
Yeah, just quickly before
slow.
we get in here, if we can make sure we're synced.
Yeah. Get back to 0.
Yeah, I'm at 0 now.
Give me. I'm out. I'm on 1. Okay, 0. Okay, if you want to count.
Yeah, I'll count to at 1 we start. Okay, 5. Okay. Alright, there we go.
Right, and welcome to the Summoner's Rifts. As here, this is going to be a matchup between Primordial and Prime Nebula. This team names actually confuses me sometimes, so we will see how
Yeah.
well we can navigate that throughout this game. But I can see the level 1 coming out. Both the team
Coming
here
in, yeah.
looking at just a standard start here.
Yeah, and so what really we should keep our eyes out on here is what lanes are the junglers gonna play for? We do have the Yasuo in the top lane who can do a lot if he just gets scaling, and even though Ornn is a vulnerable laner, Yasuo can have a really easy time just all-inning the Ornn if the lane is too long. So what you're gonna probably see here from Key is he's gonna try his best to freeze the lane so he can make a very long engage and also set up ganks for Diana. I think we are, however, gonna see a topside start from Diana. So they're not gonna play much for topside. Meanwhile, here for the bot lane, I think it's gonna be quite volatile. I mean, they have very high damage here on the Nami, but and while they do have that, and also with that being said, the increased range on Jinx, any champion is really just one hook away from risking all in, just from how aggressive Lucian can be with all ins.
Yeah, like the aggressiveness you're talking about, this Lucian, the exhaust, instead of the heal, is the summoner spell of choice. You can see he is determined to maybe make some skirmishes here in early game, because, yeah, we all know, again, at this sort of meta, we top lane here looking
Yeah,
for a play, looking for very good
this
trade.
is very good for
Got the
Key.
Q, hits onto the Warren, has to run away, the tornado hits, and this laning phase is off to a very rough start here. The Grassfund dying proc finds a little bit of healing, but just...
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
this is how the lane is gonna play out for him in quite a foreseeable future, I suppose.
if Key can keep this up, he might even be able to look on a solo kill here on. He can go for what's called a kamikaze dive, which is basically just where you shove a massive wave under the turrets and then you just kill him. Go for one, and he loses the wave. It's gonna be interesting to see how much he's gonna be able to whittle down the Ornn. As we see here, though, we do have the Jinx and Nami pushing bot lane in first, which is of course gonna be interesting with the dynamic we see with Kiana and Diana pathing bots.
Both of the jungler here hovering around bot. Top lane is an island here. Still level 1. This Ornn being zoned away from this wave. And like you said, this huge wave is crushing on the turret. Both top laner opting for the TP though. So no ignite on the side of Yasuo. A little bit less of that kill pressure. And Ornn can always TP back if he was dove under the turret, but so far
Yeah,
we'll be just okay, eating some damage and getting those CS up.
it's about fine. We have some trades here in the mid lane, but just some tickling going around.
Yeah, not gonna be a lot. This Summon Ari is the rune of choice here for the Syndra as well. So you can see probably want to play a little bit for that lane, a little bit for that extended exchange, the pokes instead of the electrocute that gives you a lot more burst damage in the early to mid game. I
We have a
imagine.
skirmish here going on bot lane. But as it turns to be, Sundar gets spotted by the ward. Who's gonna win this 3v3?
Locked down, exhaust coming out from the Lucian, dragged down, a death sentence connects, and the first blood goes over to Diana. Want to run away, the double kill for the jungler here. Sunriver making the play here in the early game. Here, meanwhile, on the top side, 1v1, level 4 versus level 3. Ornn trading that very respectfully, but have to run away in the end of the day. But across the map is looking very good for the side of Prime Nebula.
You can certainly say that as Sundra goes for mid lane, forces the flash, and that's a kill on the Syndra.
Sunriver just won't stop. This man does it for a living. Just carrying the whole team around the map. The beautiful tempo coming in. Yasuo have to be careful. Just want to push out this wave, but here comes the Ornn. The brittle mark comes in. One more auto. We'll be able to just rush this wave in. Looking for the reset. Nice and dandy.
We have the massive reset here on Sundra, or better known as Cloud, with 2,000 gold. Let's see what it gets. He's getting the recurve bow amplifying term, updating into the Nashor start, which is gonna be really nice for his clearing, and just allow him to keep snowballing.
Yeah, the Diana here, very, very fat. Just have to be very, very careful as well. Once she hit level 6, the amount of damage she can deal out with that build, with that much gold funnel into his pocket in an early game is going to be very, very scary. So we got to see how Primordial can sort of navigate this early to mid game here. As bot lane here just slow pushing the wave, maybe crashing this big wave on the turret very, very soon.
So very interesting with regards to the Drake spawning here. We see that Lucian has the item advantage over the Jinx. Jinx still hasn't recalled, although she's sitting on the potions. They do have the item advantage when it comes to finding this Drake, so it's going to be very interesting to see if Primordials are going to be able to get away with this Drake. They might just sneak it.
Good timing coming out here. As the camera isn't really panning to there, we can just only suppose they are taking this Drake down. The mid lane waves being ushered in as well. Have the prio there, so we'll imagine they will be able to secure this first Drake.
It's a Drake for Primordials. This is so huge that they're able to get away with this because, I mean, Prime Nebula are just a full damage team. This Mountain Drake are gonna set them back, a bit. Gonna make it harder for them to snowball and maybe give, the better late that you had Primordials already looking for. As we see here in top lane, Key going in.
Goes for the 1 versus 1. Last breath coming in, but the Ornn is still very, very tanky. We'll be able to just get away. Not really expending any kinds of summoner spell whatsoever, but mid lane here, the trade is going in very, very heavy. The Chaos Storm actually invested on the side of this Victor just to force away the enemy mid laner. The top lane here, the 1v1 duo stuck on an island. Not really any jungle proximity whatsoever. And this Ornn is doing relatively fine. Well, 10 CS down at this point of the game. But
do look at the mid lane though. Oh, as we say that, bot lane is going in.
The death disconnect from max distance, and the Moonfall drops onto that fish's forehead. Takes a kill. 4-0-0, 450 gold bounty on his head. Sunder is absolutely running away with this game.
Yeah, and as we say the lanes are an island though, as we see top lane, Key's just permanently pushing in. And in mid lane, we have a free TP advantage with Vanoffel looking here to get a very nice item lead, considering he got an extra wave of push. So, and here, okay, we have Lassie looking mid, doesn't get anything. But yeah, as I was saying, now I think the fact that the jungle is so, what you can say, like the gap you're seeing here, the jungle is gonna cement itself in the lanes. Like as I said, we had the TP advantage mid here, and also the top lane, Ornn looking to have a very rough time, and that's only gonna get more. That disparity is only going to continue to grow as we go out throughout the game, because Kiana is going to have to fed to keep up with Sundra here.
Yeah, you can see the support roam coming out from side of Primordial, getting some vision down to the Herald point. So good macro play coming out here, just ahead in tempo. But here the Death Sentence connects. How does he hit that every single time? The Flay, but the Flay is not gonna be able to do it.
Perfect bubble.
Locks down too. The Ignite taking down, and the support actually takes the kill. The
As he whiffs ults.
More, the ult hits absolutely nothing but air. Sunner comes in for the kill. 5-0 and 0. So 1-for-1 in the end of the day, not really too bad here for the side of Prime Nebula, as Primordial here desperately trying to find the play. And here on the top side, 1v1 is still going on. Ornn tanking everything, throw onto his face. We'll be able to just walk away.
And in the top lane, I think it's very interesting that Key is opting in to constantly push the wave. You know, it's what you call the classic Yasuo center. It's interesting, like, as to how much Ornn seems to be struggling in this lane. He is still getting, like, a bit of the CS, where I think he could maybe have just looked into freezing top lane to constantly thin it all in. But, like, as you see, because Ornn is just near the turret, he just dashes away. He just runs out, like nothing ever happens to him. So, while it is looking rough here for Ornn, I'd say that Key is letting him get away with farming safely, just a bit. So, you know, with the Mountain Drake here, might just be able to run with
on the
bot lane here.
Side, the raw damage coming in, the Moonfall dives onto another one, the calling and the kitchen sink. How do you outplay that? When 3 people just runs at you on a turret and gets the double kill. Beautiful play coming out from Blue Prime Nebula. I don't know why I said blue.
But yeah, even though they do have the superior scaling, it seems like everyone is just faltering over at the team at Primordials. Again, they had the Ornn they could play to here, but it's not gonna matter if they have 0 kills. And here in the bot lane, we already have 3 deaths on Nami and 1 on Jinx. So all in all, it's not looking too hot here for Primordials. It's gonna be interesting to see, like, maybe they can look to sneak another Drake. I don't know how that's gonna work out again, but it might just be the only chance I have here. If you say that Sunner is going in.
This is gonna be a really bad decision for the side of Primordial. Just takes him down. Even not even have to use the Moonfall. The damage coming out from the Diana at this point of the game is absolutely off the chart. The top lane prio pressure is pushing in. There's no way they can make a play for this Herald.
He going in might very well be a kill.
The tornado hits under the turret. The Lothbrez goes in, flashes away. The lantern won't get him out of the turret, but Ornn here has to channel the recall. The Yasuo will be having some free time for the plates for the farm here on the top side.
Now, and with me calling here the sneaky Drake, they might actually get away with it here again. But with that being said, it is a Cloud Drake, and Sunder is just going to steal the camps instead. So he's still getting great value here.
I think that's the top turret, first turret going over.
Yeah, it's the first turret. I mean, they might just be looking at killing Ornn here first to just make his life miserable. Let's see if they get away with it.
Oh god, please don't do it. These people have families. This Diana is absolutely running over this game at this point. That's the mid lane here.
That's the on-go, but it's the turret here. I think, yeah, we're gonna now see here. Okay, Kiana, instead of defending top lane turret from the second rift, she is opting here to just look bot lane. But Key is not committing anyways.
Whoa, this mid lane is looking very spicy. A lot of poke coming in. Kiana? Yeah, I mean, at that exact moment, I just forgot there's a Kiana in this game. Excuse me for, but yeah, the Sunderer is absolutely running this game, making his impact known around the map as well. And Lazi here just really trying to keep up. 0-2-0, being 20 CS down as well. Yeah, the Kiana when falling behind is not really a useful Kiana at all. So we just have to see how he managed to come back into this game, maybe finding some impactful ultimates to set his team up to win some of these skirmishes, because right now it is all Sunder. It's our Mr. Cloud running this game.
Yeah, certainly. And again, like, they might be behind here, but like with maybe a chance of coming back with some good picks. But even then, we also have the Yasuo here with the win wars, and we say that bot lane is going in.
Yeah, 3 versus 3. They are on the turret though. Kiana trying to do what he can, but rest
So
of the
let's
team
go in.
comes in. Scout of the
The
week,
3-man
unleash
moonfall.
power. The big shutdown goes over to the side of this mid laner, but Sunder is still fighting on the front side. Can he do it? The Flake casts him in. The Death Sentence will go wide. But the shutdown goes over to Jink. This is getting a little bit scary. The hyper
She's
carry
calling
is
for
getting a
help.
lot
Where
of
is it?
gold.
Oh,
We'll be able to
there she
take
goes.
down in the end. And the Ornn somehow is that I think we missed the solo kill on the top side. The tier 2 goes over to this Yasuo. Unbelievably fat at this point of a game as well. Yeah, a lot of things happen. In the end of the day, it's still 12 killed 12-3. So again, Prime Nebula feeling very good still at this point of the stage.
Yeah, we're just looking at a small 10k goal lead here. And there were some minorly stacked Dark Seals. So Primordials definitely have to get their stuff together. They're gonna be able to look for picks. With that being said, now we see Lussie fighting Kihan. She comes on top of it.
Whoa, that was a beautiful combo.
Here.
Yeah, remain control under pressure. Just props to Lazi as well. Having a very rough game. Can find that kill out on the back end of that is going to be so huge. But here, Wonderful want to look for some play. Will not be able to find it. He is has already completed the Shattered Crown of the Queen, actually. Ignore that. I need to do some study on the item names, but here again, in the mid lane is having a absolutely fantastic time, just keeping these waves pushing. A lot of pressure here coming out from the side of Prime Nebula.
Yeah, and as we see here on the map, there's nothing really going on the map until 2 minutes when the rift spawns. So I think if Primordials is smart here, then they're just gonna catch the waves and wait. I mean, basically wait for objectives to spawn, because as it is right now, it's gonna be hard to look for picks. So we're just gonna see the game slow down a bit.
Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of the farming coming out, at least for the next 2, 3, 5 minutes. This Jink is still getting stronger. I can see the Kraken Slayer already completed on this champion, just working towards that second item, working towards that third item to become a just huge, massive team fight threat. Getting that range on the Q as well, leveling up. Already level 9 here. You can see weaving those autos in. There's no way for this Lucian to return those damages just due to the sheer difference in their ranges.
Okay, and we do of course have the Drake coming up here, and as we see, Prime has full control of the jungle here. It's going to be very hard for Primordials to enter. And we already have the recall here on Kiana. She's going to be here at the delayed timing. And in the meantime, Ki is putting pressure top. It's going to look very hard for them to get the third Drake here going.
Oh. Yeah, face track into a Diana doesn't sound like the smartest idea. And you can see,
we might see the flank. Ki is flanking mid. They might just look for crazy combo here.
Crazy combo under the turret. There's a lot of people around. If you want to go crazy, you want to think very carefully. This might be the way used through games. Here, decided just to go for the Drake, nice and easy, not going for anything crazily stupid. And yeah, the first Drake actually going over to the side of Primordial. A little bit surprising given how fat they are, but here comes the engage. Horn caught on the front side. Crown Shield, worthy sacrifice for the whole team. But here once more, the Moonfall and the Last Breath combo is absolutely disgusting. But here comes a supreme display of talent on the front side. Yasuo take down Lazi instead. This is gonna be the 2-for-2 in the end of the day. Not really too shabby if you are Primordial. Scout of the Week hits onto Yasuo, but not a lot of damage coming out from this Syndra yet. So in the end of the day, we'll be just retreating. The tier 1 turret want to force here on the side of Prime Nebula. A wave clear coming out, so we'll be just fine with that.
Yeah, just fine. I mean, it's been 2 bounties now, giving away from Sunder's apparent recklessness. I think it was very well done of Primordials to be able to go 2-for-2 here. With that being said, though, they are still around 9k gold behind, and now with now also facing 1 additional Drake. So going in here, I think it's still gonna be very hard for them to restabilize. But if Ornn can maybe get the levels, get the upgraded items, we might just be, see Primordials be able to rebind here.
Well, the saving grace is that, like, the 2 Drake we were talking about in the game, somehow they were able to snuck those 2 into their back pocket. So now they have such just a very generous room for their scaling. They don't really have to contest any of these drakes for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Giving those drakes over, getting some farms, making some cross map plays, getting your hyper carries, Jinx, and these Syndras very, very strong. Getting those, get to those Ornn level 13 marks. It's gonna give
As,
you a lot better chance in these team fights
as we
as
see
late
Primordials recalling, we might
along.
just see Key use his Rift Herald. As we see, he's looking to take the mid turret down.
You see the rest of the team rotating here. We'll be just clearing out the wave. This Jinx, um,
We might just
very
be looking at
smartly
two turret pops here, considering that Key can just windwall the on-ults. Okay, we will just be looking at one. Might get the second charge. We will successfully.
They're ready for it. Yeah, so here goes onto the top side. We'll just let the charge in. Just get some chip damage onto the turret, rotating into the river, just controlling the vision. It's always very important when you are ahead, keeping those waves pushing, having a prio, move into the river, set up vision, look for these plays. You have the Diana, you have the Thresh. Can always pick off someone from the enemy team. You can see it is very, very hard for the rest of the team to walk in here. The death sentence flashed away from. Beautiful play coming out, beautiful reaction coming out from Thomas to keep himself alive. And just to buy the team a little bit more time to wave clear and keep their tier 2 mid lane turret alive.
So here we do see the Baron here spawning in 30 seconds. So it's going to be interesting to see if Nebula opts into fighting this one. It could be a very easy way to throw the game. On the other side, like, there's not a lot of things going on. Maybe they should play slow. As we say that, Crown lands a beautiful hook onto Kiana.
Here comes the vision control here. We'll be just using the bush Q to get away. That invisibility is very, very strong. It's a part of it why just champion is so strong in the jungle. But yeah, they can see just laying down the visions, walking in, and it just becomes harder and harder for the side of Primordial to regain control of their jungle, taking away the resources as well. And Foreman here actually CG onto bot tier 2. They have to rotate members here. Maybe want to look for a play on the boss side. Scout of the week will keep himself safe. The gravity field is not gonna lock him up. The rest of the team rotating onto the bot side. The Syndra senses something is up. Retreats back to his tier 2 turret.
And as we see here, Prime Nebula is not really afraid of just pursuing a bigger lead. As we see, the Baron just responded, but they didn't go for it. They're just playing for picks, controlling the jungle, keep stealing their camps so that the disparity increases. Now we see we're looking at an 11k deficit on the side of Primordials. So I think here we're looking at a very slow and calculated game where we'll just be seeing Nebula playing for Drakes when they spawn, constantly stealing camps, not trying to flip the Drake on the Baron, where the Kiana can get the massive ult and actually have a chance at winning. So just, all in all, just slow and concise gameplay. That is going to make it very hard for them to scale at the side of Primordials.
Like you said, it's still quite early on in the game, 21 minutes. The Baron is going to do quite a lot of damage, and it's going to take quite a long time to take down that objective as well. Like you said, if the Kiana looks for a flank, the Supreme Display of Thailand locks down Yasuo, but the Windwall blocks down a lot of damage. Here comes the fish, but Alazi takes down that kill at the end of the day. We'll be able to make that play. Just a little bit of over-aggressiveness, a little bit of disrespect coming out from the Yasuo, walking through the jungle like that. Without vision, without his team's backing up. But here, the second Drake goes over to the side of...
they're looking mid here.
Prime Nebula.
You have the TP from Syndra.
The Ornhorn is being cogged. They want to look for this play. Maybe just disengage. Scout of Louis is absolutely beautiful. Unleashed power. The Moonfall hits on 3 people. And that's 3 people facing back to one screen. Sundera want to chase out of this. He sees it. He sees Blast in the water. Will not decide to chase it. The Baron will be on the menu here for the side of Prime Nebula.
Beautiful moonlight here by Sundera to just turn the fight back in Nebula's favor after, a bit of a shaky start. So, I mean, it's just looking rough now. They have a massive experience lead, massive gold lead. Primordials are just gonna see if they can get any resources they're allowed to get with now when they're looking at Nebula just constantly roaming in the jungle and pushing every lane.
Yeah, I mean, aside of Primordial, it feels like they feel a little bit overconfident with a 4 versus 5. The Yasuo was dead in the fountain, but they were forcing a fight while being 10k gold down in front of the enemy turret. You can see the Ornhorn engage, actually hit onto several people, and I think the Scout of the Week was absolutely beautiful. Almost takes down I think this is illusion. I mean, someone Zania's. I don't know if we can look at a replay, if I'm being honest. But yeah, just a little bit over forcing. They don't really have any kinds of damage to burst anyone down. And the counter re-engage comes in from Sunder is absolutely crisp and clean. Getting that 3 kills on the backside, making it look very, very easy.
Yeah, nothing really much happening here. We just see, oh, as I say that, Cinder might just be looking dead here. Kido respecting the fact that they don't know where they are, or is he? No, he's going.
Oh, here
The
comes
perfect
the
cancel here, so he can't get ultimate off.
Schedule of the week is
Gets
so
away
beautiful, but the shield bow prevents the damage from the unleashed power. So we'll be just pushing these waves on the bot side. A lot of life still coming out from the S12, so he will be fine for now. Again, vision control, moving into the enemy jungle, setting up vision, setting up for these picks, for these plates. And Yasuo here still exerting the pressure. The Baron buff and power minion is so
He's
strong.
looking
But here
again, bot lane.
goes forward a lot. Brass the clean combo coming in. And PGX Key finds the solo kill on the bot side.
It's gonna be interesting here in mid lane. They don't have key, so maybe Primordials can be looking here for an on-ult to make something happen. That being said, Crown is standing in the back, you know, constantly being ready to throw that lantern if someone gets engaged. So this is a pretty safe siege as of yet. Meanwhile, Key is just pressuring bots, getting the turret, and we see they actually Nebula is rotating to get the Kiana here. Very smart move.
They want to look for this play on a turret. Kiana, the Supreme Display locks down 5 people. You done a lot, but not enough. Or plus the tidal wave hits on 5 people, but there's no follow-up damage coming in. Jinx is still a little bit far away. The Jinx still needs some time to get some item, to get some damage on his back. So we'll be just like that. The rest of the team, Prime Nebula here, was able to get away. They didn't really take down any inhibitor turret on the backhand of that, so maybe Primordial will be happy about that. But this lead is just keep snowballing out of control here for the side of Prime Nebula.
Yeah, and now we're looking at a Drake here spawning in 1 minute, and it's just gonna be crazy here at the side of Nebula if they keep stacking these Hextech Drakes. You know, they make very good use of CDR and attack speed. I mean, basically everyone on the team makes good use of either. So they're just gonna be so buffed here at a crazy goal lead. I think it's looking very, very rough here in this situation.
Yeah, you need to put the rabbit out of the hat if you are Primordial here, just looking for these plays, looking for some more, because the clock is running out, the third Drake is already coming in, and your Jinx is still on 2 items, not really getting that point where he can solo carry the game. Ornn is level 14, so maybe he can start handing out those upgrades very, very soon. But here, just keeping your base intact, keeping these wave pushes becoming harder and harder here for the side of Primordial. You want to move into the jungle. We'll have the invisibility just to get away, but the rest of the team is coming in here. Third Drake. Maybe they want to fight this Primordial. Not feeling too afraid. Want to move into the river, setting out some vision, but the rest of the team is here. These choke points can be so scary, not only for the Kiana, but for the Victor as well. The Gravity Field and the Chaos Storm can do so much AoE damage, and just the War of Vision coming in here. Want to move into the jungle. The Death Sentence will connect. The Gravity Field locks him down, but its Ornn is so tanky. The Ornn Horn already being caught. Want to go on this Thresh. Will be able to get the support on the side of this, but the Chaos Storm on the backside so strong. Flashes forward with the laser, knocks him down. The Moonfall doesn't really catches anyone, and the last breath hits onto the Ornn. Not really too afraid. This is a fight on the multiple front as they go in. The flash away, the Gale Force takes him down, and they are stuck on the wrong side of the jungle as 2 members here for the side of Primordial. Has to get away. The Jinx has the red buff. Can he get away? I don't know where this is going, my man. The execute coming out from Thomas. All chat work.
Oh, he's taking the Hexgate here. Oh, he cancelled it. He cancelled the Hexgate. Okay, he's out. He's out. But Sandra looking behind here. He's still chasing.
This is unleashed power. Oh, so close, yes, so far.
Lucian here. That man.
What a madness. I mean, the Drake goes over to the side of Prime Nebula, so we can draw a good conclusion out of that. But in the end of the day, it was just a lot of people died on the side of Primordial. Someone escaped. Again, they are still trying to so desperately. You can see the team fight is getting harder and harder for them as well. The Victor is having almost 3 items. I believe he is working onto that death cap, and it's just going to be so hard for Primordial to play these team fights.
So looking on key.
Looking for this 1v1, not really winning this very confidently, but here comes the Ornn, having his back. Tornado hits onto this big, giant, tanky top planer. Just take the crap for himself. And yeah, the mid lane pressure keep pushing in. The rest of the team here will be able to just look for a play, maybe set up some visions in the jungle.
And we might just be looking at a very quick Baron burst here. No one's really close, and I mean, Prime is just way too much ahead. They're just gonna melt it like butter.
Oh, like hot knife through butter. You have the Yasuo, you have the Lucian, you have the Victor. This is gone before it is. Oh my god, look for this play. But this is the Ornn on the front side. They need to find some damage dealers. Shut down, going over to Diana on the back side. They got a little bit too aggressive. They're paying for the price. His hands too deep into the cookie jar. And now they have to run away. Can they get out? The Victor stuck between rock and a hard place. He will be locked down and he will be taken down. Shut down, going over to Jinx. Get excited, baby, because they are somehow finding this fight.
Yeah, Nebula biting off a bit more than they can chew here. We just see Sunder going completely in without getting the Sonya's off. Just complete disaster. Hopefully they can rebind for this, but again, we still have a massive gold lead, and Nebula's only gonna get stronger when they get their backs through. As we say that, massive disaster Legacy gets caught here by the Syndra.
On the front side, the Scat of the Week has to be very, very careful. That timer quite long across the board. Can they go for the inhibitor turret here on the mid side? Decided against it. Diana is responding, so is the Yasuo. 10 seconds on the Victor. They won't be happy with what they got. But yeah, you can see, like, I think this is what we talked about in Pick and Ban. This is a very easy to execute combo, but the same thing is it's a very thin margin of error. You can see Sunder goes in there, Moonfall, I believe, hits onto 1 people. There isn't really any kinds of follow-up neither from the Yasuo, from the rest of the team. Gets burst down very, very quickly. Just a little bit overzealous. And once the initial engage, once these abilities, this wombo combo is missed and not playing to their effect, the Jinx can start hitting these rockets, can start bombarding the front line of Prime Nebula here, which just is very, very vulnerable, very, very brittle still at this point of the stage.
So here we are looking at a Drake spawning in 1 minute, and I think what we're going to see here from Nebula, they're just going to walk in the jungle with Crown, they're going to place wards, just make it miserable for them to enter the jungle. But it's going to be interesting to see how far they're allowed to go in, but as it stands here, like, they're contesting the vision pretty well.
Yeah, the Ornn is very tanky at this point. Always can just walk in, tank some skill shot, and walk his way out of there unscathed and unharmed. Again, yeah, having this choke point, the Prime Nebula is playing this relatively well, keeping the mid lane pressure pushed in. I believe still they have a Baron buff. I'm not sure if they timed out or not on the side of Thresh. So having this pressure, the waves push in, the Prior in the mid lane is going to be so important. Here, just sweeping out the wards, making sure this is going to be complete darkness here for the side of Prime Nebula. There is a ward on the back side if they want to make a play. But here,
this isn't looking too safe for promotion, but they might just burst it here from Prime, and they get the Drake.
This is gonna be the soul, but there here, what happens to the fight? The Ornn Horde not be able to caught, but that's connects on the front side.
This is the wall.
Thresh is gonna be so brittle. Goes in with the wall. Will be taking down a massive Moonfall. It's on 3 people. This is gonna be the fight for Prime Nebula as they absolutely ace the enemy team. 5 members still alive, and this should be the game here for the first one in this best of 3.
Absolutely, and as we see here, it was looking very good for Primordials for a second. They had a really good vision game. They had a really nice fang on the side, but they just got stat checked by Prime. They had way too much gold on their hands.
Yeah, this is the wombo combo working to fruition, working to its perfection. The Moonfall plus the Last Breath on the backside just melts. There's no counterplay to that. I think the Flash actually is on Jinx and Nami, but that doesn't really matter. The Nexus explodes and Prime Nebula takes the first win of the series.
A game. But yeah, so going into the next game, what do you think we should see them improve here? Because
I mean,
I don't know. I think they're gonna have to switch some things up if they just don't want to get stat checked. Like maybe in terms of macro. We did see
well,
the Kiana just flip the game here and just give 3 kills to Sundra.
yeah, I mean, it's both of the teams have a lot to talk about heading into the locker room, a lot to think about. I think, especially for the sort of Primordial, how do you navigate that early game? Oh, it's just a very unfortunate string of events, getting this Diana very, very ahead of the schedule. But definitely something to think about. Definitely something to talk about. You do want to forget these performances in the first game. Want to get into the second game with a fresh mindset. But yet now, I think we will take a break, wait for the players to think about things a bit, and we will be right back with you guys for the second game in this series. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the second game of this series between Primordial and Prime Nebula. I can't just say that. It's just so weird. Wow. Okay. Um as we are straight jumping to pick and ban, so none of those bantering chit chat we're talking about, the Lulu band coming in, Santa band coming in, the old drill. Expect nothing less, no surprises there. The old band coming in, so both of the team here, they're happy for their bans from the first game.
Yeah, and as we saw last game, it was really, I would say it's quite even draft. So it's really interesting where they place the issues. I think if they're thinking pretty clearly about this, they're just gonna try to play slower, not go for the flip that ends up with a triple kill for Sundra. And yeah, in general, just go for the same kind of draft. But knowing teams, people might have different ideas of what went wrong. It's gonna be interesting to see how they switch it up.
Yeah, I mean, just pinpointing your mistakes is always a very important part in as the series goes on as well. Depends on if you think your draft has a problem, is it not winnable game from the start, or do you think it's just some execution error, some early game mishaps? Maybe you can communicate better with each other. Maybe you can make some smarter plays, play towards your strength, play towards your scaling, your skirmishes, everything like that. But it's looking like they are ready to run it back. The Kiana, they don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll be able to do that. Syndra as well in the mid lane matchup with this Victor. So again, well, from what we can tell from last game, it's gonna be a pretty farm heavy lane. Both of these champions have a lot of range, not really susceptible to ganks and stuff like that. But again,
You're running it back here with
yeah, this
with
is
the
not a
same
replay.
champions.
Yeah, this is not a
and
replay.
and as I clearly said earlier, this shows that Primordials, they're confident in what mistakes they were, and they're ready to, well, they already went through it, they identified them, and they're ready to not make them again. And so yeah, we might again just see the very same draft. We might see a Yasuo ban second phase this time around, so they can still play through the on, but yeah, all in all, we might just end with the same champions. With that being said, now we do have the Jinx Thresh combo here, coming out from Prime Nebula, and now we have the on. We are for sure gonna see the Yasuo ban.
Yeah, that top lane is not exactly working out for the side of Primordial here. Depends on how they think of it. The more got them through, it was very, very tanky in these later game team fights. The engage was quite impactful as well. You can see the Yasuo ban coming out as the prophet himself prophesized. But yeah, the Yumi ban will be in response. The same thing again, running it back. Don't want that sort of enchanter support on the side of this team. But yeah, we can see how they adapt to it. There is the possibility to pick into this Nami Lucian that was denied from the enemy team last game. But yeah, we can see how they want to play around this.
Yeah, and again, we have Primordials trembling for the strong side lane and top lane. So let's see if Nebula can pull a strong side lane or top out here again. Last time we had the problem that Nebula already had the AP jungle, so we couldn't go for something like a Lilia or a Gwen. We might see it here now again, or maybe a third thing. Like really something that can just, the Primordials can feel its presence and really make it harder for the on to rotate and think twice about fighting objective fights. Let's see if we can see it here coming from Nebula.
Oh, I sense some level 1 shenanigans here, as level 1 shenanigan himself, Blitzcrank,
yes.
is locked in for the side of Primordial. So going for a bit of a curveball here in a second game, not really expected, as Gragas will be the top lane pick.
Or will it be?
Or the jungler, we're not really sure. I haven't seen this champion in the jungle in a while, but it will be the Gragas jungle and the Camille top. So
yeah,
the
we
split
see
pushing we were talking about in the first game.
This is the pressure of the Yasuo pick, right? Because last time around they banned Camille, but which by the way is a very obnoxious pick for On, because Camille can just hookshot to On's pillar and then jump onto him. It's very hard to play against. With that being said, we do have the Blitzcrank counter matchup into Thresh, which I believe is favored to Blitz because Blitz has a faster hook timer, so you can just hook Thresh instantly into him whenever you see Thresh using hook. All in all, I think it's like pretty good solid drafts on both sides. I do think that it's slightly more explosive here on the side of Primordials because Blitzcrank, hook is instant, and if you find the target, you just pop everything on it and they die. Thresh, hook range isn't as much. You don't really have high range burst. You have to like commit harder to make things happen because you aren't as ranged. But all in all, it's pretty even on the teams.
Yeah, the support matchup is something we should keep an eye on for this game as well. The Jinx Thresh, I suppose this combo picked out, the Thresh is always offering a lot more on the safety side of things. Jinx is the hyper carry, and if you have the Lantern, you can allow the Jinx to freely step up, hitting those rockets, and always have the safety to retreat back to the rest of her team. But that being said, one of the reasons Blitzcrank is the counter to the Thresh support is that you can do the alley-oop, hook the Thresh, and while the Jinx is in Lantern, and both of them will come into your enemy team. So if you can see that flashy play by the Wolves, if he can pull that off. But yeah, like you said, pretty even team count across the board.
We do also want to mention we've been some naughty casters, and of course forgot about our wonderful sponsor at ProComps.
If you are just tuning in, this is
Yeah, if you're of course just tuning in. But yeah, as we see here, as we saw in the ProComps, of course there's the nice point that Syndra can cancel the Gregor dash, which might just make it harder for Prime to look for engages. So yeah, all in all, they're really just going to look for follow-ups on Thresh hooks. It's going to be a bit hard for the front line to play the game. If Blitz gets a hook through and Thresh can't get the Lantern, are they going to live? I don't think so, no matter who Blitz hooks in a late game situation. But yeah, all in all, it's also even in damage composition. Everyone has their carries. And yeah, both have pretty good scaling. So yeah, again, just all in all, just even compositions, I'd say. But yeah, it's really going to come, with that being said then, it's going to come down to who's going to be able to play for their side lanes better. Because top lane is Camille versus Ornn. Very, very explosive champion here. The scissor lady. If you can get her ahead, she can definitely be a menace. And she can become so fed, so tanky, that it doesn't matter if she just gets hooked. Or if she goes in, she can just ignore people and just one-shot an AD carry or something. It's going to be interesting how much you're going to see Prime play for the top lane here and make Ornn's life miserable, or if they're going to opt to something else, maybe just making sure Jinx scales, keeping Qiyana from getting the bot lane ahead. But as we saw last game, I don't know if Nebula has a lot to be afraid of, because we did see just Lossy choke the gank, not anticipate the counter gank from Cloud. So all in all, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to be looking forward to here when it comes to basically every matchup, considering how even the drafts are.
Yeah, I think one thing as well, I just feel you have to feel bad for this guy. On Ornn guilty for second game in a row, and this again is not a good matchup. You can easily play it into this Camille. So much mobility, and that Q doing the true damage doesn't really matter how tanky you are as well. So yeah, we just have to see how he navigates through, manage to stall into that late game point when he can be the giant tank and be useful for his team. But as far as this early game goes, and if last game is any indication, he can definitely push his advantage in this winning matchup, and we will see how he can impact this top lane and maybe spread that impact across the map to help his team get through this mid game.
And yeah, as we're loading in here, we might just see an invade happen on both sides. Where are the people gonna go? And
yeah.
I think Blitzcrank is gonna be favored because of how his hook works, like kind of overriding Thresh hook. But I mean,
Yeah, is it 0?
is that so?
Okay, I'm at 6. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm 0. Wait, I'm at 0. Okay, you want to count down?
I'm at 0. Right.
Welcome to the Summoner's Rift as we load on to here for the second time for the second game of this series. Can Prime Nebula take it all the way home, or can Primordial push it into a game 3? We will see. The comp mostly the same with a slight tweak here and there coming out from Primordial. mostly, but he can see level 1 shenanigan coming out already. Both the team actually going on different opposite side of the map, so we'll see how this will turn out in this first 2 minutes of the game.
And it looks like Prime is just anticipating invade in bot lane. Little do they know they're actually in the middle of their blue buff. So who is gonna check in there? Is Blitz gonna stay?
Oh no, the recall's
time will
coming
tell.
in. He's gonna, the Camille may walk onto the top side to check that bush. Primordial
Oh, and
doesn't
now
seem to be
Primordials are
staying
suspecting the
around.
top invade. Now they're paranoid. So really, it's just so many questions in the air here in the beginning of the second game.
Yeah, so much tension, so much build up, ended up being absolutely nothing happening here for the level 1. Well, a little bit disappointing for the viewers and for the caster ourselves, but I suppose if you are playing against the Blitzcrank, you always take that as a win. Just level 1
Keep in
shenanigans
mind though
not
that
happening.
he, as of yet, doesn't know if he's been invaded. He didn't check the blue buff, so hopefully he spots on here. I mean, he is in the river waiting for him. I guess he'll spot it that way.
Same trick happened again. The first game he was waiting for that tri-bush. And the second game here, just waiting for that Ornn to get back into the lane. This mid lane here, the exact replicate of the last game. So would be expecting a lot more. The tactical sweep, looking for some damage here in an early game.
And here we do see the junglers pathing, on the opposite side of the map. So this is what we talked about. We might just see Cloud being able to get a good gank here of snowballing the Camille matchup. And in the meantime, Lossie is not able at least to choke the bot gank as much this time around. So it's going to be interesting to see which lanes will prevail.
Yeah, both of the junglers very pivotal to their team's success, very pivotal to the pressure you can generate here. Sorry, let me just do that. But yeah, I mean, so far very even walking towards the scuttle crab. You can see the
Look at what Lossie skipped. He's skipping the blue buff and he's walking into the enemy jungle.
Skip the cams. We'll be finding nothing. So a bit of that time wasted there. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I mean, Lossie is sneaking around at least to kill Van Offel now. Maybe. Is he looking? No, he's too far away. He's pathing back to where he can't decide.
Scared of the weak. Victor is stepping up. Can they make this work? Camera pans back into mid lane. Still have the flash. Will be able to flash away from the Q. So good play coming out here. Good summoner spell forced out as well. So the repeat gank is very, very imminent. And this Victor has to play very, very careful. And you can see the lane. I think the lane is actually frozen in the mid lane. As the rocket grab goes forward, Flay will not be able to keep himself alive. The Death Sentence actually connect. If he doesn't go for that Q, I think he can actually walk out. But Ignite taking down the top side, trade kill comment in.
Trying to predict the flash there, but On just doesn't budge.
Well, it is a kill in the end of the day for the top side and for the bot side for both of these teams. So we'll be happy about that.
Yeah, and we have the Drake coming up in 1 minute. But interestingly, Lossie is behind on the camps. He hasn't cleared as much, and now we're gonna see that Cloud is going to be up on tempo if he uses this properly. And yeah, he's doing the scuttle, so now he's 1 camp ahead. And you might just see him get the early recall and get the items through. And Lossie's even going to opt for the Crux.
He is looking for a mid lane gank instead. The body slam is absolutely beautiful. Flash is not going to get yourself out of this. And the kill give it over to the Vaniful. Again, Cloud here carrying this game, just lifting the team's tempo so much, getting the team ahead around these objectives.
Yeah, and considering we have Nebula getting the early kill on the top side, I think they're gonna opt for just snowballing the community, getting ahead, while telling the bot lane to just calm it down for a bit. Just don't get hooked. Just play slow, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, having the waves perma pushed in as well. This bot lane is going to be early on favorite to this Jhin and Blitzcrank. Is here tanking a whole family of mini waves here. Key has to get away. Will be knocked up, but this game, again, the Ornn doesn't really have too much damage here in an early game. Still have to be careful. will have this huge minion wave pushed in, so Key here just content to farm these well under the turret.
But this is what I was talking about with regards to the jungle, because now we see that Klaus has 3 camps to farm. I mean, he also did the Crux just now, while Lushy is really just forced to do his Grump because his camps are so mistimed. So you might just see Lushy being forced to either make a play happen, try and sneak an early Drake again, or just be useless because he has no camps to clear. While Sunder has plenty of options. He has 0 pressure as a jungler right now. He can do whatever he wants to.
Yeah, maybe looking for a play. You have the Lantern, you can always get into the fight from a very far
he's
distance.
anticipating the gank here from Lushy. But Lushy instead just paths mid, it seems.
Decided not to go for that. He is up in CS though, so we'll see how this jungle matchup play out. But here on the top side, actually, this Ornn is doing quite well. Has the Brittle Mark, but here comes the Ornn Horn. As the camera pans away, we have to assume he was able to survive that, but have to CS farm under the turret just to be very, very careful about this. The tactical speed finds a bit of the poke. Yeah, having the top lane pressure pushed in, looking for any kinds of camp he can get. Just will be able to take the Wolf, maybe the Gromp as well. As the Gragas is actually moving in, to have to be very, very careful. Has the TP on the Camille. So yeah, decided just to walk out of that jungle.
Yeah. So yeah, even though Cloud had the better tempo, he didn't capitalize on it. He just walked around and didn't capitalize. That, with that being said,
he's going in here on. He gets the ultimatum. Very, very beautiful. Following on that East dash and the solo kill coming in from Key on the top side. Just a little bit of that disrespect coming out from this Ornn. The Camille has so much ability, can always get on top of you. And yeah, just the gold over 2-0 as well. Key always seem to have find these early advantages in these lanes.
Cloud maybe looking on the mid, but with Wolves looking for the counter gank here.
Ooh, the Blitzcrank moves in with the Predator. Very, very fast boy here. And the Rocket Grab almost predicts, actually. But instead will be nothing happening in the end of the day. Going for the roam, as here on the bot side, 1-for-1, the both support moving in as well. So we'll be stabilizing this lane for the moment.
Here in the top lane, just looking to get the push, get the reset with all the gold he's amassed.
Oh, speaking of stabilizing, there's a bit of a skirmish breaking in the bot side river. The rest of the team is moving in. This is going to be the 5.
Actually, with the flash here.
4 versus 4. Flash forward, a supreme display of talent. Will not be able to keep himself alive. The fadeaway kill just for the style point, and Kiana is on the board with 1 kill over to the enemy mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nebula is gonna have to take it a bit slow here. Top is hard winning. They're just waiting for Key to freeze and just make the life miserable for them so they have something to play through. But instead we are skirmishing around bot lane, even though bot lane has the kill lead. The Jhin is sitting on an additional pickaxe. So they're basically ready to fight. But yeah, they're taking a bit too quick. They need to slow down and just play for the lanes that are winning and see if they can get back here. But yeah, with that being said, they do get the Drake.
Ooh, the flash. Didn't really manage to get out the flay, so the Blitzcrank can just walk away with the Predator. Very, very fast boy we're talking about. Put on the Nikes and walk his way out of there. So this is going to be the Drake versus Herald trade. As the Camille is moving in, can Lottie successfully take this down? I'm not sure, but Camille is hunting for him.
Fight here. No.
Yeah, forcing him down. He did get the Herald in the end of the day. So again, trade of objectives across the map. They will be happy with that.
And with top faltering as much as it is, we might just see Lushy just hard committing here for bot lane. Maybe putting down the Rift after getting a successful dive to really snowball their lead here in the bot lane.
Yeah, this Jhin
he has a freeze here, so he might just be able to look for on. He misses the hook shot. Just gets a night poke.
Does connect though. This wave is still quite big.
It's very close to like being in lethal range here. He's just looking for the very extra bit of damage. Oh, he whiffs the hook shot, but he might just be dead. Camille might just be too balanced.
Again, yeah, tanking the skill shot, flashes away from the Hackster ultimatum. The power Q comes in, a tactical sweep is actually being a lot closer than Key would be comfortable with. But in the end, again, another solo kill coming out of the top laner for Prime Nebula.
We have the hook exchange here. Blitzcrank winning out. Blitzcrank landing on the turret though.
Knight taking down on both
Ultimate is
support.
nice
One more
getting
rocket.
exchanged.
Zapped onto the grenade and the
Really passed the
curtain
friendship
call
test.
here. Oh
I don't know
my
if that
god.
counts.
Sacrifice for his support. You want an AD carry like that. But here, 4 shots of the curtain call hits the full damage onto this Jinx. They will be able to find this.
They might just get the turret here, like a full-on turret. With botlane being completing out and Sunder not being anywhere close.
This is gonna be so good for the side.
He might have trouble pushing this wave in.
Yeah, this is gonna be frozen.
And now if Primordials know the macro, we might just see the bot lane rotating mid or top. If they rotate top, they're gonna make life very hard for this Camille, for instance. Like basically just negating her lead. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go.
We'll see how this side played this, but bot lane advantage is very, very imminent. I'm looking for a word here, but just very great lead coming out from the side of Primordial. They will be very happy with that. This Blitzcrank early game is working out, just winning these 2v2 against the Thresh, against the Jinx. Here we'll be able to exert the pressure. You can see the Blitzcrank already on the roam. The rest of the team here,
he whiffed the belly flop into the wall.
The body slam, but he will be just able to get away.
Hooks are flying left and right here.
Hooks.
It's just a full-on American fiesta here in the mid lane.
The American fiesta it is. But yeah, both of the team walking out unscathed in the end of the day. The mid laner here just wondering why there's like 4 people in my lane at this point of the game. Yeah. I just want to farm up.
Yeah, so here because there's no turrets, we see the Jhin opting here in for the lane swap with the Syndra. Which, I mean, works as well. The Drake is coming up in 1.5 minutes, so obviously they want to be close to it. It's going to be interesting to see how they can push the lead here, the bot lane of Thomas and Wolves, and see if they can get more plating or use their prior mid to invade the jungle here with Lussie.
Yeah, now this Blitzcrank is unleashed. He will be just roaming around the map, hiding in the fog of war. You have to be very, very careful as laners as well.
You have to remember, this Ornn is just crying for help. He's slowly getting staffed, slowly getting closer and closer to getting solo dive for this Camille. So obviously he's gonna call for help. Is Key gonna be able to win this 1v3 or like at least get away safely? Is the question as he goes in here.
Hook shot already used.
He's gonna have to dodge with ultimatum.
Yeah, you have to take 1-for-1, but the rocket grab doesn't give him that chance. Hex ultimate actually goes up. The shutdown goes over the Blitzcrank, which is not exactly the worst thing in the world.
They just blew 3 ultimates. 40 seconds before Drake. Like, I don't think they can contest it anymore.
I mean, the coach said right. Yeah, this looks like this will be another Drake goes over to the side of Prime Nebula again. Excuse me for the mistake. But yeah, it's setting up for this vision. They have the mid lane pushed in right now for the side of Primordial. But again, the jungler is top side, deciding just to go for some counter jungling. So the second Drake will be the Hextech Drake, actually going over to the side of the Nebulas. So
this
again,
might have just been a small blow for Key, but he's still a massive item. You know, he has the crazy Sunder elite still, while Ornn still doesn't have his first item completion. You might just actually you see Primordials opting here to go aiming it as 4, so Key might just get a turret if they keep playing like this.
They need to figure out their rotation a little bit better.
They're hovering here top here for the Rift coming up.
But here Primordial is, I think 3k or 2k actually, 2k up in gold. A lot of that due to that bot lane. They took the full 5 plays early on. Yeah, the Keys is being focused here on the top side. That's what the mid pressure can translate into.
He might be able to run away.
Can he get in? The rocket grab seals his fate, and Lazi takes another kill. 2-0-1 actually, starting to get stronger, running through this mid game. It's this Kiana.
This definitely, I would say, set back the lead that he had, like, spent his sweat and energy making up in the beginning of the early game. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like, how gracefully they can come back from this. They do still have the 2 Drakes at Nebula, but Primordials might just snag up the Rift Herald here and make a play mid or top. And if
Yeah.
Key, at the same time, if Key doesn't get help from the Blitzcrank and Kiana just constantly terrorizing him, he might just completely have his lead. He might just have his lead completely negated.
Ooh, the rocket grab goes just a little bit wide. The death sentence doesn't really hit anything, but he has to flash away, actually. That's a good play coming out, but here they are contesting for this Herald, but it's on the bot side here. Want to go for a play. They have the item advantage on the side of this Victor. Chaos Storm forces the flash out, so good play coming out from Vanafall. And again, in 2 games as well, this Victor versus the Syndrome matchup seems to be very Victor favored still. A very strong champion in this current meta.
Here.
He is making the plays around the map. This Kiana have the item, have the damage, feeling very, very confident. The supreme display of talent. Alley-oop into the Scat of the Week, into the Unleashed Power, and Lazi takes the kill with the Q.
Yeah, this is why you respect the jungler when your turret's down. If you say that Sunder's going in, he lands the cast.
Explosive cast knocked by the Blitzcrank, but the death sentence seals his fate. Sunder is on the board, 1-0 and 2, making a bit of that return play in the mid lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, again, just very happy Key is to be left on an island, just able to push these waves in. He knows where the rest of the enemy team is, just finding a bit of this 1v1 time against an Ornn here on the top side.
Now, we do have the mid turret taking down here, which is gonna make it much easier, I'd say, to answer these rotations that Blitzcrank and Kiana have been doing, because now you can ward through the mid lane to see if they're just walking the simple paths, and you can also walk there yourself without you being spotted most of the time. So all in all, this helps a lot for the map control, and hopefully it helps also Key further restabilizing from the 2 losses he had early on. That being said, again, Blitz coming top, his usual do-abouts.
Why the Wolves is just trying to impact this game as hard as he can. Having that early advantage has allowed him to do a lot of things. But I don't really know if these 2 people actually will be able to manage to kill a Camille here on the top side without the Kiana. You can see Sunder senses something is up as well. Want to make a counter play. The same strategy is not going to work twice. It's here. Pops the Predator, want to look for this play, but this is an Ornn in the end of the day. The rest of the team is hovering on the top side as well. Meanwhile, this Kiana want to look for a play in the mid lane. Will be spotted out by a ward. So we'll be just stabilizing these lane for the moment. As we speak, the Empower Q goes in, the Rocket Grabs goes wide. Nothing really happened on the back end of that.
We see Vanafall learning from her mistakes, just keeping the wave frozen bot lane, being immune to potential ganks by someone, and just making it hard for Cinder to play the game as well. So look, she's just standing there, she's missing experience, she's missing CS, because they don't know where, at any time where Crown or Sunder is. It's just good macro and doing nothing while you're waiting for Drake. And here we do have the Mountain Drake coming up. As of now, it is Primordials having most of the control as of yet. We don't have any prior bot lane. It seems like mid is constantly being pushed in. So it's going to be interesting to see if Prime Nebula are going to walk as a team to make vision and make space, or if it's just going to be Primordials that have full control of the Jake, making Nebula walk in here.
Nebula is sitting on a pretty comfortable spot. Yes, sure, they are down in round 2 go. The Blitzcrank is looking for the rocket grab over the wall. The Ornn isn't really necessary. The Lantern won't deliver him to safety, but here comes the Kiana on the fly. The supreme display of talent, a double kill for the Jhin for just a curtain call. And they will be able to secure the Drake off of that beautiful play made by Why the Wolves.
Rift Consolation prize here. Actually, it might just make the top lane turret fall here. It might just be the best that it can do. But as it stands, Sunder is looking to get the Rift. It seems to be taken, and they can start looking at the Ornn here as a little consolation.
Yeah, here on the top side, still stuck on an island. The Drake will be going over to the side of Primordial. Flashes away. Yeah, still very, very tanky, so not too afraid at this point of the game. But yeah, that will be the top tier 1. Terra goes over
and
to the
Bot is
side of
they
the Nebula.
Nebula knows that Kiana is spot, so they might just be able to go for 2 turret. And if we say that Sundra hits the cask,
Knocks
and
him
Ornn
back,
is
hacks that
completely denied
ultimate,
from
and is there
disengaging.
to grabs him out of the ultimate, but here still want to look for a kill. We'll be able to
Kondo,
knock
the
up
flash!
the body slam flash, knocks down or on the turret.
Are we looking at 2 turrets?
How much can
gonna
this
hit it.
Blitzcrank do under the turret? The Empower Q goes down. That's 2 turret on the top side. A lot of gold, especially these tier 2 turrets nowadays, gives a surprising amount of gold for the enemy team. But here comes the scout of the week. The rocket grab is absolutely clean. Unleashed power. The Empowered Q. He want to go for it. Look for more. Takes down Nemesis and gets himself away. Case, what was that? Well, speaking of plays, here comes the exhaust. Can he get away? Oh no!
What in the world is going on?
Just shut down, getting excited. This is
just...
They're turning this game absolutely around.
That was a crazy, complete rebound from Nebula. And as we look at that, the Nuffle in the meantime is pushing bot lane here, shoving a full lane into the turrets. Just all in all, Nebula is doing so much to come back in the game.
Oh my god, what a confusing 2 minutes. That must have been for Primordial. Just first making that top side play. The Ornn dies on the turret. Almost takes down Key. The Syndra damage is not really enough at this point of a game. And finding a return kill as well. And yeah, just the Kiana play. It looks so good, but the clutch exhaust actually. Yeah, Bebedy here, one exhaust. For both of the games, it's a top lane here. We don't have any time for that.
Is Ornn gonna be able to survive? Lassie is on his way. Is Key just gonna kill him? No,
there's no way for this Ornn to survive. The Empower Kill is way too strong. And you might be tanky, but true damage doesn't really care at all. But this Gragas is gonna walk into a very dangerous predicament. Key 1 versus 3 hookshot into the enemy team. This is 4 people chasing him around. Side of the week will be able to run away. There is no way he can get himself from that. Mega Death Rocket from downtown. The Rocket Grab actually grabs.
It's like massive cast.
Power, keep himself alive. The clutch Solari shield keep the AD carry alive, but here the Syndra is falling. The rest of the team is down. There is 1-for-1 trading that kill back onto the Camille. The Rocket Grab will be able to miss. And Vanderful takes another kill down to the enemy support. They are hunting for this Kiana. Can they be able to get it? This Jinx is very strong at this point of a game, but Kiana's still very, very slippery. Want to look for the execute. We'll be able to get it, so not too bad.
This might just be a Baron here for Nebula. Yeah. I mean, ironically enough, Lassie stalled it so much, she's not going to be alive to contest this Baron. It's just basically completely free. Nothing that Primordials can do unless, Jin can get an ultimate through.
Oh, here comes the Ornn Baron still. This is
I'm calling it. Caught off there a bit, but he might just be able to completely run someone down here, which doesn't have into. Fair enough.
There's no entrance into this Baron, and they will be wearing purple. And out of this for 23 minutes, Baron as well. It feels like
Sunder not taking the Crown Lantern again. This very interesting. It's do seem to have learned from last time around.
Yeah, well, the Blitzcrank keep looking for same play. But yeah, just absolutely turning this game onto his head. I swear to God, less than 5 minutes ago, Nebula are still on their back feet, and now they're wearing purple. They are having pressure around the map. Their carries are absolutely online. The Jinx is very, very scary. Already has the Runon's Hurricane completed. He would be dishing out rockets 100 miles per hour now. And yeah, Key on the top side, very strong as well. You can see the split pushing power coming in. There's it's 4 men has to deal with this. One of them
Don't be surprised to see Primordials maybe be able to whip up something here in this situation. They've been known to have good vision control, and if you see this...
Yeah, the rest of the team is here, though. You can't make for this play. And where is this Ornn actually going?
Just completely grouped.
Yeah, here comes the curtain call on the front side. Knocks down 2 is absolutely great. The Rocket grabs the Camille, hacks the ultimate, and they can't take the Camille down. They're able to do so now. But here comes the Jinx, getting excited. The Rocket rains down their forehead like the Holy Ghost. And the invisibility is not going to keep himself alive. Flashes into the bush. It's not going to do anything. Double kill for the Jinx, and there is 4 dead facing black and white screen on the side of Primordials.
Yeah, while it was looking good for Primordials for a second there, it looks like they were getting the pick. They were just not ready on the flank to find someone. As we saw, Nebula was just completely grouped there. Lassie just hit a display of talent onto Sandra, who just shrugged his hands in the air and said, "Okay, great, now my AD carry's alive." Like, there was really nothing Primordials could have done with that positioning and the flank that could have made them win the fight.
Yeah, this Jinx on the backside is from the beginning to the end of this team fight absolutely untouched. They spent absolutely everything to take down Keys, and they did on the front side, but the Camille was able to stop so much time. And they expended every single cooldown to take down that Camille. The Jinx is just free firing onto the backside. You can see working towards that, I believe, is the Infinity Edge, I think. So you just be so much stronger after this fight in the fights to come.
I mean, that being said, Thomas is sitting on 7 kills, 1 death here. He's also looking onto the Infinity Edge, and as we know, like, nothing more dangerous than just a crazy false shot onto a half HP target. He just completely remove anyone off the map. So it's just gonna be the question if Jin can hit the right targets. Can Thomas be able to hit the backline, or is Jinx just gonna stand in the back, king of the hill, and just have nothing completely touch her?
Yeah, I mean, the Jinx, the problem with the Jinx being a super carry is that the later the game, the more level she gets under her belt, the range coming out of that champion is absolutely disgusting. You can build towards that rapid fire cannon as well to get more range.
But looking at enough with the stopwatch.
Play, the Chaos Storm, and Azania keeps himself alive, but here comes the rest of the team. Can he get away? The rocket grabs, hits on the target, it's crisp and clean, but can he, the Ignite taking down, but he has so much movement speed, put out the Nike shoots and just run out of town. Vanderful here just making a play, some fancy footwork, takes down an enemy mid laner and makes himself out there alive.
Let's see, is Key to deep here, or is he gonna walk back? Okay, he's respecting, or is he? Okay, Lossie's diving in.
There's 3 people here. The Ornhorn is not gonna be able to hit. It won't be able to hit. There's 4 people piling onto him. The Hextech ultimate
We have a
does a little bit
teleport
of a
from
job.
Nuffle here. Sadly, not in time. Lossie might be on the plate. No.
Yeah, will not be able to do too much. Cannot safeguard his top laner from death. But here, Thunder is pushing onto the boss side, making some cross-map plays.
He might be on the menu next.
Running straight towards him. This Gragas is going to be a little bit hard to lock down, especially it's a tank build Gragas as well. You can see the cam tank here, and still have the Predator flash away from the rocket grab. So that engage option is now going to be available for at least a while. So good summon spell burnt as well for side of Primordial. Ooh, still want to look for a play.
It's just pretty relaxed here. I think people are going to stop looking for picks. They're going to start taking saving. They're just going to prepare for the objectives. We have the Baron coming up here in 1 minute and 20, and the Drake coming in 2 minutes. We might just see Nebula going for the Baron here 40 seconds before the Drake, and then transitioning to the Drake. By the looks of it, you see Crown just preparing Vision. He might even get 2 ward rotations through. He might just get a recall here and just restock his wards and get ready for the Baron. But yeah, as we see, we have plenty of control wards around there. It seems like they're preparing for it.
Yeah, this is going to be the Baron spawning. This is going to be the Mountain Soul as well for a Nebula here. And as later as this game goes on, the value of Blitzcrank just diminishes with every passing second. And Blitzcrank, when is behind, is generally, well, if we're being honest, just pretty useless. So you can see just trying to set up some visions. You cannot really find picks because your jungle is being invaded. Because you cannot set up these visions, be oppressive. And you can just hopefully make some plays in these team fights as well. But meanwhile, on the other side, the Thresh always have that security. You can just allow your AD carry to step up with the Lantern.
It seems like we're just walking to the bot side here, preparing for the Drake. Prime is just sure that no reason to flip the game here on the Baron. We're confident we're getting the Drake no matter what. We just want to be 100% sure that we have everything prepared well and they are in there first. Seems to be the case. They're now completely here and they're ready to get their soul. Crown landing the hook on the Blitz.
Let's connect onto the Blitzcrank. The rest of the team still need to walk in the river. The rocket grabs onto the Thresh. and there is no way for him to run. Now, Supreme Display of Talent locks down 2 on the front
He's
side.
obliterating Jin.
Just exasperates him on the backside. 7-1 and 0 for absolutely nothing. The double kill goes over the battlefield. Flashes forward. He is feeling at another laser. Sticks it into the enemy mid laner. The ace coming in for the side of Nebula.
Just getting the full-on AD carry experience here, just extremely fed. But what is he gonna do in the scissor lady? You know, she wants her taxes and she wants them now. And you haven't paid up. She just fucking language. She just dashes onto you. You know, swipes here and then you're fucking dead. Again, language.
Well, I mean, as this game is drawing to a close, very, very strong performance coming in for 2 games in a row. For the side of Prime, actually takes down the kill in the end of the day. But yeah, good game coming in. Strong, convincing performance from the side of Prime Nebula as they take down the series in week 1 against Primordials. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the coach should be very happy. What do you think of your team's performances now?
Well, I think we saw some shaky gameplay. I mean, in the early game, we got caught, and we did also have some disrespecting. But in general, I think we just had a nice macro, and we just generally played better. So I'm just very pleased to see that.
You happy with what you see, and I think generally just a convincing series as well. I think the way that players navigated the macro, they are staying, like you said, just staying on the objectives, getting the Drake, playing it slow, not going for coin flip sort of plays, and generally navigating these team fights very, very well. All of the team members working together is very, very good to see.
Yeah. And yeah, and it seems like we're getting Cloud here
for the interview afterward. So we're just waiting for him to see. Okay, hello. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm chilling. I'm smiling.
Okay,
well,
Cloud.
I mean, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So yeah, as we saw many times in the series, you were just hovering around, anticipating. Anticipating something, just waiting for someone to gank. For instance, in the first game, you anticipated the Kiana. I mean, you ended up with 3 kills. Did you end with what you expected?
Well, I'm a bit of a Kiana player myself, and I know that everyone wants to do the red into Raptors, into Grump, into gank or bot side, and then gank bot side. So it's quite easy to predict, you know? And like, I didn't expect to get that fed first game. That was a surprise. I think I kind of tilted my AD. Sorry, Lev.
Shout out.
But that's basically it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, the coach is not gonna tell you this, but I'm gonna say it. First of all, congrats on the win. You absolutely balled out today. We love seeing your performance, man. And yeah, in both games, I think one thing that I think we were talking about this during Pick and Ban, and I'm personally quite interested about, and you said it yourself, you are a very prolific sort of Kiana player. And so like so during Pick and Ban, was it because I think we saw in both games, definitely in the first game, I'm not sure about the second game, in both games, that's Kiana was the first pick that the enemy team Primordial here went for. So was it how was the sort of decision like, you know, did you, because I mean I don't know if you looked at their OPRGG. Lazi was a pretty prolific Kiana player as well. So what's the decision behind it? Do you guys decide just not to ban this champion? Do you guys decide to give it away knowing that you're comfortable playing into it?
Well, I don't know how fair it's for me to say this, but we actually scrimmed them a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And they were the ones banned Kiana all the way until game 3, where they left Kiana open and they first picked it. So we figured out if they don't ban Kiana, then they're gonna leave it up again. They're gonna look for a Kiana pick.
I see, and you are. I mean, you have confidence playing into that as a matchup that you know very well.
Yeah, and it's quite int to pick it so early in the draft because, as you can see, we can lock in Thresh, we can lock in very tanky bruisers. Like, I don't think it's good as good of an early pick in the draft. It needs more resources.
I see, and I mean both game. I think it was the jungle matchup went very well for you as well. Obviously, in the first game and second game, the Groggles was able to do a lot of work as well here. But yeah, Stealth, do you have any further questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, again, congrats on the win to start off the week. I think a very convincing as well, and hopefully you guys can have more success as the tournament goes on.
Can I give some shout outs?
Oh,
Yeah.
please. That's supposed to be my job, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I want to shout out my whole team and the coaching staff, especially Blame. Blame has been helping me with VOD reviews and stuff. And then I also want to shout out the boys, Jaded and Trolulu. They are real ones, and I want to say that I also got higher than Miffin power rankings, so I'm the best jungler div 2. That's it, basically.
Well, way to live it out there, man. Again, thank you for coming on to the interview and letting us a little bit know a little bit more about the inside of how the team works. As we will definitely keep an eye on this very promising roster going into the season. But again, thank you for coming to the interview, man. I have a good time. You can just go celebrate.
Thank you.
And that should be our game today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. For me, it was very fun casting that. I think Primordial was very convincing, but props to our team Nebula was very convincing, but props to Primordial too for making it quite close as well. And just as casters, as neutral casters, it was a blast to watch that game as well.
Yeah, very impartial casters here we have.
As well, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this is Jeff, and I'm joined by Stealth for today. It's been a pleasure casting for you guys, and hopefully we will see you in the future.
Yeah.
Peace out.
My pleasure too. Bye.